Hey everyone, welcome back to English Today Journey. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for your daily dose of English tips. All these habits give structure and help them perform at their best.
Writers rely on routines too. Haruki Murakami, for instance, wakes up at 4 a.m., writes for 5 to 6 hours, and then goes for a run. Every single day. Why? Because creativity doesn't come from magic. It comes from rhythm, from showing up consistently.
And yet, many people resist routines. Why? Maybe routines feel rigid, boring, or like they limit freedom. But the truth is, routines don't restrict you, they free you. They free your energy to focus on what matters most.
Think about your own goals. Even a small daily routine, like 10 minutes of English practice, journaling, or walking, adds up. Over weeks and months, these small, repeated actions create momentum, shaping you into the person you want to become.
So here's a question for you. What's one small routine you could commit to this week? Something simple, realistic, and consistent.
Remember, growth isn't about big, dramatic actions. It's about showing up day after day, building structure, and creating anchors that keep you moving forward even when life gets messy.
Because when you combine clear goals with steady routines, you create unstoppable momentum. Your garden grows quietly, steadily, and so do you.
Now, let's address a common concern. Many people think routines are restrictive. Or maybe the idea of doing the same thing every day sounds boring.
But the truth is, routines don't take away freedom, they actually create it. When you automate the important parts of your day, you save mental energy. You don't waste time deciding what to do, your system already does the work for you.
And that frees you to focus on what really matters. But there's a catch. Routines do require self-awareness. You need to notice when you've fallen off track and give yourself permission to start again without guilt.
Falling behind is normal. Being human means sometimes you'll miss a habit. But the real strength is in your ability to return, reset, and recommit.
So take a moment and reflect. What routines are shaping your life right now? Some might be unconscious, like checking your phone first thing in the morning. Are your mornings calm or chaotic?
Or think about your evenings. Do they help you rest, or are they filled with endless scrolling? What's one small routine you could add tomorrow to support the goals you set earlier?
It doesn't have to be dramatic. Small changes are more sustainable. 5 minutes of journaling in the morning, turning off screens and listening to calming music before bed, reading one paragraph in English instead of checking the news first thing in the morning.
You don't need to redesign your whole life. You just need better rhythms, small personal habits that help you move forward.
Here's why routines are so powerful. They help you build trust with yourself. When you stick to a routine, even a tiny one, you're telling yourself, I follow through. I do what I say I will.
And that trust in yourself, self-trust, is priceless. It's the foundation for consistency, confidence, and real progress.
So, as we finish this section, reflect not only on your goals, but also on how you structure your days to reach them. Goals give you vision, but routines give you movement.
Without movement, vision just stays in your head. But when you combine clear goals with steady routines, your vision begins to take shape in real life, day by day, step by step.
And that's exactly how momentum is built, through small, consistent actions that eventually create big change.
All right, so far we've talked about goals as your compass and routines as the engine that keeps you moving. Now we come to one of the most powerful ideas in the growth formula, ownership.
Ownership. This is big. It's one of those concepts people sometimes avoid, but it's essential for real growth. And yes, it can feel challenging, but in a good way.
Take a deep breath. Reset for a moment. Ask yourself, what will I return to tomorrow without needing motivation to get started? That's the mindset of ownership.
Ownership means stepping into your power. It's about claiming responsibility for your life, not just the good choices, but all of them.
Let me ask you directly, where in your life are you still waiting for permission to act? Where are you hoping someone else will open the door, give the green light, or make the first move so you can become the person you already know you can be?
These aren't easy questions, but they are essential if you want to grow. Ownership is simple, but it's also powerful. It's the moment you stop saying, "This is happening to me," and start saying, "This is happening through me."
That shift from passive to active is where personal power begins. And in English, we often talk about stepping into your power. It's a metaphor for waking up to your own influence over your life.
We use verbs like own, acknowledge, and reclaim. Phrases like take the reins, which comes from horseback riding, mean taking control.
On the other hand, we have expressions like play the victim, which describe someone avoiding responsibility, focusing only on being wronged or feeling stuck.
The truth is, we all do this sometimes, but growth comes when we notice it and choose to step up instead.
Ownership is about waking up to your own power. It's about deciding that your life is something you influence, shape, and drive forward, starting now.
And when you combine ownership with clear goals and steady routines, you create a system that doesn't rely on luck or motivation. You become the person moving your life forward every day in small but meaningful ways.
So today, ask yourself, where can I claim more ownership? Start small, start honest, and notice the shift when you move from waiting for permission to taking action.
That's the essence of growth. Stopping passivity and stepping fully into your own life.
We all do this sometimes. Life can be hard. We get tired, overwhelmed, or start comparing ourselves to others.
And it's easy to blame circumstances, maybe finances, health issues, or systemic barriers. Some of these are real. Ownership isn't about ignoring reality.
Exactly. Ownership asks a simple question. Even within these limits, what can I choose? What can I control? There's always something you can do. There's always a next step. There's always a way to show up differently.
Let's bring this back to language learning because that's why many of you are here. Maybe you've said, "I don't have time," or "I'm not good at speaking," or even, "I never had a good English teacher."
And yes, some of those things are true. But ownership asks, now what? What will I do about it? You can't change the past, but you can shape your future.
Ownership isn't about shame. It isn't saying it's all your fault. It's about acknowledging your influence. You may not control everything, but you do control your effort, your mindset, your habits, and your choices, and that's more power than you might realize.
Here's the tricky part. Ownership is quiet and internal. It doesn't come with applause. No one notices when you decide not to complain, when you show up even when it's hard, or when you let go of a blame story you've been repeating for years.
And these quiet decisions, made consistently, are what change your life, slowly, quietly, and permanently.
I remember a moment in my own journey, not just as a creator, but as a human, when I noticed something important. I was blaming everything around me. Algorithms, schedules, people not responding.
It felt safe to blame others. If it wasn't my fault, I didn't have to change anything about myself. But the truth? Nothing really changed until I looked in the mirror and asked, what is my part in this?
That simple question, what is my part, shifts everything. It moves you from passivity to action, from waiting for permission to stepping into responsibility.
Ownership is where growth gets real. It's where you stop drifting and start steering your own life, one small, deliberate choice at a time.
And here's the reminder. Small choices made consistently, quietly, and intentionally, they add up. That's how momentum is built. That's how transformation happens. So let's pause for a moment. Think about this question. What am I avoiding? What am I afraid of?
When I finally owned my part, really accepted it, something changed. I started to move again, and movement created momentum. Momentum led to real growth.
That's exactly why ownership is so important in the growth formula. Without it, your goals and routines can feel hollow, like you're doing things for someone else or waiting for imaginary approval.
But when you take ownership, every decision becomes yours. Your learning becomes yours. Your life becomes yours.
Here's a reflection prompt for you today. Where in your life are you still waiting for permission to act? Where are you blaming others, your past, or your circumstances instead of stepping forward and taking the reins?
Don't judge your answer. Just notice it. Awareness is the first